Hi, this is Gary with MacMost.com. Let me show you how you can use the Music app on your Mac without subscribing to Apple Music. MacMost is brought to you thanks to a great group of more than 2,000 supporters. Go to MacMost.com/Patreon. There you could read more about it, join us, and get exclusive content and course discounts. Now this is a question I often get and often see posted elsewhere online. I did a video about it several years ago, but the settings have changed a bit, so let's talk about it again. So there's an app on your Mac called Music, and there's also an Apple subscription service called Apple Music. They are two different things, but you use the Apple Music subscription service with the Music app. However, this confuses many people because it sometimes looks like you need to subscribe to Apple Music to use the Music app, but you don't. If you're not using the Apple Music subscription service, you can simply hide it in the Music app and continue to use the Music app as you did before with songs you purchased from the iTunes Store or songs you ripped from CDs. So when you run the Music app on your Mac, you'll probably see this first. It asks you to subscribe to the Apple Music service. So right away it looks like that's what you need to do. But if you look here in the left sidebar, you can see you're simply on the Apple Music homepage. You don't need to be on the Apple Music homepage. You can go down to Library and you could view your own artist, albums, and songs. So for instance, here I've got several artists, a bunch of albums, and the songs on them stored in my local library. I could just ignore this homepage here and simply go down to the items here in my library and then play that music. One point of confusion is when you try to search. So for instance, I'm going to try to search here, and when I look at the results, I'm going to see a ton of results, but none of them will work for me. They'll all ask me to subscribe to Apple Music. It'll even give me a message about that at the bottom. It seems like in order to play any music, I need to subscribe to Apple Music. But if you look carefully, you can see what's going on here. You've got three search modes here on the right: your library, Apple Music, and iTunes Store. And you're going to get results according to which one you have selected. So if you have Apple Music selected, it's going to give you Apple Music results. If you don't subscribe to Apple Music, you're basically just previewing what's there, what you could get if you do subscribe. But you could switch to your library and see the results that are in your library on your Mac and not in Apple Music. And anything here you can play just as normal. You could also switch to iTunes Store. This takes you to the iTunes Store that's been around long before Apple Music, where you can purchase individual songs or albums. So when searching, simply make sure you choose the one you want, probably your library if you're not using Apple Music, and it'll remember that choice. So from now on when you search, it'll just show you the results in your library and you can play the songs as you would expect. But you can go a step further than this and actually get rid of Apple Music here from the sidebar and from search results by simply turning them off. The way to do that is to go to the Music menu and to Settings, and then select General. And here you're going to see Show, and you can turn off Apple Music. When you do that, you'll notice that those items are gone here from the left side. And then if you leave Search, if you were already in there, and go back to it, you'll notice you're just down to your library and iTunes Store. Apple Music will no longer be a choice for searching. You can also, by the way, turn off the iTunes Store. If you'd rather not see that as well, you can go back into Settings and turn off iTunes Store. Now note, you may not see the checkbox for Apple Music here if you are currently subscribed to Apple Music, even if it's just a free trial. It's not going to let you turn it off if you're actually using it. And now when you search, the only choice is to look in your library. You won't even get the choices over here because there's just your library available, not the iTunes Store, not Apple Music. Now of course, if you're not using Apple Music, you may want to have the iTunes Store turned on so you can purchase music if that's the way you want to get your music. However, you can also rip music from CDs just as you could in the earliest versions of iTunes. That hasn't gone away either, even though there are a lot of people that say that it's not there. It certainly is there, but you're only going to find it if you actually have an optical drive plugged into your Mac. Macs haven't come with optical drives for a long time, so you have to get an external one, either Apple's or some other companies. Usually they're USB, and you plug that in. Notice without it plugged in, this is what Music Settings General looks like. But if I were to plug this drive into the USB port and then check in Music Settings, I can see there's a new setting here for when a CD is inserted. And you can set it to show the CD, play the CD, import the CD, import CD and eject, or ask to import CD, just like you could years ago. So when you leave it at ask to import CD, and then you take a CD and you insert it into this drive, you could see it's going to prompt you right away. In this case, it found 3 different albums that match this CD. I'll just pick the first one there, and then it's going to ask me for permission, and then it's going to ask me if I want to import this. It shows it here. If I say no, I can still get CD info or import CD. I can click the settings button here for more. I can click the edit button and edit the list. I can eject as well. So you have all the different options for ripping CDs into music that you've always had. Also, if you go into Music Settings and you go to Files, look for the Import Settings button. That allows you to determine how the music's encoded. So you can use the AAC encoder, which is probably what most people want, but you can go to, say, an MP3 encoder if maybe you plan to use the songs on some other device, like a car's MP3 player that only accepts these kinds of files. So there you go. That's how you can use the Music app on your Mac, just like you could years ago before the Apple Music service even existed. Hope you found this useful. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, click the thumbs up button below to let me know. I publish new tutorials each weekday. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out.